Welcome to the A Players Podcast, the place where we build and interview A players in business so that you can hone your skills and be at the top of your game, so you can make the most out of any situation and reach higher levels of success. I'm your host to guide you through this, Lewis Haydon, coach to very high income earners, and I'm on a mission to give everyone the opportunity to step into wealth. Doesn't matter who you are. Yeah, it could be a manager in a business, could be an employee. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give you the tools to do that, giving you the actionable steps to go that next level. Because ultimately, better leaders make more profits and we get you there faster. So what is an A player? It is a person that is playing at the top of their game within businesses. Yeah, there could be a business owner, there could be an employee, could be a manager. It doesn't matter. You can choose to be an A player. So it's a mindset. It's people that want to make an impact. And in doing so, yeah, look, you make an impact in the world, you make change happen, not just in others' lives, but in your life too. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about those opportunities. And when those opportunities come, something that I get when working with a lot of business owners and their teams, especially their teams, and the business owners too, yeah, is how do I become more confident? The one thing that gets in the way is they understand what to do. They know what to do. And if they don't know what to do, then we give them the right plan. Create the plan, actionable steps, go away and do it. What gets in the way? What gets in the way? Well, it's the thing between the two ears, isn't it? Yeah, the thing between your two ears. Your psychology. I read a great quote this morning around, look, the one thing that just stops you from moving forward is you got to have the right mindset around it, the right psychology. Stuart Walter in the previous episode. Who's listened to that? Yeah, smash a like. Drop a like if you listen to that. If you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on LinkedIn or you're watching on Spotify, whatever it may be, just drop a like if you listen to Stuart's episode. What did you like best about it? Drop some comments in the episode as well. So Stuart spoke a lot about mindset, and he's talking about not just B players, C players, and A players. He's talking about gold medalists. They are the A players of the sports world. And he's talking about CEOs, people that have come through the ranks to reach the CEO level. Yeah. What's the one thing that he's speaking about most of the time? Yeah. Mindset. He's speaking about mindset. So what I want to do in this episode is break it down for another take on how do you use that mindset to become unshakable? Yeah. What does it mean by unshakable? It means that you got the confidence. When these opportunities arise, you know what to do. You've got the steps. Yeah. You've got the 100K Club and you've got the A Players podcast to give you the steps. But guys, I'll keep saying this. Yeah. I mean, I'm an organizational psychologist as well. I may be biased around this, but look, you go and follow anything on Instagram, anything on social media platforms. And by the way, follow me, Dr. Lewis Haydon on Instagram. You'll see that the things that I share, the people around my circle are all talking about the same fucking thing. Yeah. It's not telling you about what to do. It's not telling you about what to do. It's telling you about how you should think. This is how you think if you want to be a millionaire. This is how you should think if you want to be an A-player leader. This is how you should think if you want to be a billionaire, if you want to own businesses, if you want to be an investor. Yeah, I follow things about, I know I slam cryptocurrency quite a lot on this podcast for the right reasons. I do think it's good investment, but it's a distraction. It gets in the way. But you follow any of those sites, one thing that's in common between everything, all these people that you follow on Instagram, mindset. They're all talking about mindset. And the thing is in mindset is because it can be two sides, can't it? It can be a trait and it can be a state. Someone's trait is something they have for a very long time. And someone's states that can be bang, momentary, bang, momentary. Now, traits are great. But when situations arise and you're in the moment with something, it's all about the state that you can remain in. So how do you stay in that state for longer? How do you develop unshakable confidence and character all the time? How do you remain in that? We talk about that in previous episodes as well. But I'm going to really focus on this one today, ladies and gents. I'm going to really focus on how you create that unshakable confidence, unshakable character, because it's a real shame. This is something I hold really deep to my heart, yeah? The amount of times that people even repeat stuff back to me that I've shown them or told them, because I'm also in another life a business coach, not a consultant. There's consulting around it as well because people need to know what the fuck to do. But that's just 5% of it. The 95% of it is people know what to do, but they don't follow it through. Why? Why? Have a good think about that one. Why don't people follow it through? Lewis, you can find all this stuff on YouTube about what to do next and on Google. Yeah, look, you can even ask fucking ChatGPT to do it for you nowadays, can't you? It's not hard. But here's the challenge. ChatGPT is going to help you. Because people, yeah, knowing what to do is just the tip of the iceberg. Knowing what to do is just the tip of the iceberg. And knowing that, the next steps to it is that character. You got to build that character. Just having the knowledge of what to do isn't going to move you forward. Okay? So what is going to move you forward? Having the right psychology around it, having that confidence around it, understanding here's an opportunity, there it is. It's a mindset again. Because if you've got the mindset that things happen to you because of external influences, yeah, a victim, if you're going to be a victim that you can't control anything because of an external influence, then look, that's a mindset straight away that is not going to move you forward. Because if that's the thought process that you always have, then where is any new opportunity going to arrive in your life, including opportunities to raise your game in business, raise your game in sports, raise your game as a leader, and also reach that 100K or million? Yeah, A Players isn't just 100K, by the way. We're talking to millionaires. We interview millionaires in the A Players podcast, but some people aren't at the millionaire level. They just need to hit the fucking 100K level. And that's why the other podcast is there, yeah, the 100K Club. If you want to be a part of that 100K Club, go on to Spotify. There's a little padlock. Click on the padlock and you will unlock those episodes, okay? It's there, and they go up weekly to help people move forward just to hit that 100K. So we're understanding now that it's about mindset. Everybody starts to talk about it in some form and they package it in some way. It's not about what to do. We've got to get the mindset right first. When you got the mindset right, rather than being a victim, things happen to you, yeah, the mindset needs to switch. Things don't happen to you, they happen because of you. Things happen because of you, okay? So if you're going to do that, that's where you become a victor, not a victim, yeah? That's where victory happens, is because of having a different mindset. Just like the 44 gold medalists that Stuart Walter talked about in the previous episodes, they chose to push beyond their boundaries. They didn't just go for goals. If you listen to the 100K Club, Stuart doesn't talk about reaching your goal. The goal is the finish line. And just like Stuart said, if the goal is the finish line and it was a brick wall that you get there, you touch the wall and you're done, if you were sprinting towards a brick wall, what would happen? You'd start to automatically slow down because you're not going to go fucking head first through a brick wall, are you? Yeah, it gets dangerous. Oh, my goal's approaching me, but I don't deserve it. Yeah, bullshit beliefs. People may laugh at that and go, that's not me. It is. If you haven't achieved it yet, the goal, when it starts to approach, becomes possible. And then all the stuff in the mind gets in the way of stopping it there. So what does Stuart say? What do gold medalists do? He interviewed, somebody on TV was interviewed, one of his gold medalists, and they said they've just won gold medal. And they went, yeah, great. There's still a lot of work to do. What work is there to do? You've just won the gold medal. That was the goal, the gold medal. Why is there still more work to do? Yeah? Because gold medalists and top CEOs don't think that way. They know that there's something deeper. So here's how you build unshakable confidence. Number one, you've got to have a purpose. You've got to have purpose of why you're doing it. And look, guys, it's not about 100K. It's not about 1 million. It's not about 10 million or 100 million. I work with these businesses. It's not about that. The businesses and the leaders that smash through those goals and start to really, really gain momentum are the ones that have a clear purpose and a big impact in the world, changing people's lives. The money The money, and you're going to hate me for saying this, A players, and the people that are subscribed to the 100K club, you're going to hate me for saying this. The money is not the target. The money is just a measure of how much impact you're having in the world and how much. Look, if you add value to people's lives, they pay you for it. Okay? It's a currency. Money is a currency. Yeah? It's not a currency of impact. The currency of impact is subjective. It's the thing that you want to be really clear on. Yeah? You've got to get that right. Otherwise, the goals will just always be a monetary goal. And for somebody who's making a lot of, I was speaking to the other day, a friend of mine lives in London, he's making about £750,000 a year. He said, Lewis, £750,000 a year isn't enough money to live in London, in the centre of London. You pay for all the school bills, you pay for all the taxes, you pay for all the living of London living, and there's nothing left over. Yeah. Bear in mind as well, somebody who's a very high income earner, you're going to instantly get taxed at 45%. There's two things certain in life, and that's death and taxes. So you better get very efficient of it. Yeah. Efficient is the word there, by the way. But people that haven't got to pay large amounts of taxes, yeah, they go, oh, well, that's tax avoidance. No, that's illegal. That's illegal. You don't go there at all. But you do get fucking efficient with it. If you haven't got an independent financial advisor, an IFA, then DM me IFA and I will send you the contact of people. And they cost you nothing because they make money from you making money. What gets in the way? Oh, no, they're just there to make a lot of money off me. Victim mentality. Again, right? You got to really decide, guys. If you're going to be an A player, and that A player means that you're going to be very, very wealthy, then you got to decide what things you allow into your life and what things you don't. Yeah. Do you want to be on the victory side or the victim side? So, unshakable character. Here's why purpose is so important. Let's say that you manage to land yourself a commission-based bonus. Okay? Commission-based bonus. What does that look like in football? For every goal you score, you get paid for it. Or you just take a really, really high salary. Yeah? Really, really high salary looks great for the club, by the way. But really, why would you not want to reward performance? Why would any business not want to reward performance? Okay? What is that? And performance is also subjective. So it's finding out what the business's challenge is right now and how you contribute towards that level of performance. And that is possible in any business as long as you have that victor mindset. Remember what it means? Things don't happen to you, they happen because of you. Right? So I could go on about the victim mindset a lot. I mean, instantly. Look, you got to be in it to win it. Yeah. Oh, that means you've got to get a lottery ticket. No, it doesn't. It means you better be in the fucking game of making more money, and lottery is a chance. How are you going to get wealthy? You keep talking about making loads of money in the next 10 years. Oh, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket every week. Fuck off. Honestly, sorry. That is going to be really, really close to home for a lot of people. I just got to say it. That is not the way of seeing the world of a victim mindset. Yeah, victim completely. So you've got to beat this unshakable character. You've got to have this unshakable character, the unshakable confidence, having purpose beyond money. Okay, having the victor mindset around if these things happen because I'm going to do this stuff, it's going to make an impact in the bigger picture, not just the finish line, but what lies behind the finish line, like the 44 gold medalist was looking at. We call this a few different terms. My friend of mine, Miles Downey, calls, and he works with executive coach to multi-millionaires. He calls this direction of travel. Direction of travel. Stuart Walter calls it the target. What is your target? Simon Sinek, start with why, calls it the why. Yeah. And here's how you apply it. So you've got the commission-based structure set up, and you've listened to the previous podcasts on that, the A Players and 100K Club. You've got to have the vehicle first. Get the vehicle. Salaried job, right, is a lot tougher vehicle than a bonus-related outcome. Yeah. So if you want to have a better outcome, you get yourself in a win-win situation. Okay? Get yourself in that win-win situation where your performance correlates to some sort of way that the company wins and that you win. We talked about that in previous episodes. Now, when let's say that you phone calls, okay? Nobody wants to do, let's say, cold calls, okay? Nobody wants to do it. Why do you think cold calling is outsourced to other countries? Because no British or Australian or American person really wants to do it. Well, say most, 99%, right? The 1% that do, by the way, make a lot of money. Make a lot of money. So people don't want to do phone calls, right? However, remember the saying that it's the road least traveled that actually gets you to the better outcome. So if people get really good at it, then you're going to get a win-win situation because it pays off the most as well. The harder stuff pays off the most. The thing that gets in the way is anxiety. And with anxiety, if there's two paths, you go for the less anxious route. That's not just in making more money, by the way. You go for the less anxious route. The one that causes the least anxiety is the path that you'll take. Unless you know this information. Now you know this information, that the reason that you're going towards that path is because of anxiety. Anxiety is the killer of dreams. Right? There's a quote for you. Put that on your wall. Anxiety is the killer of dreams. And it's being anxious because we don't understand it. We don't know it yet. Yeah. We haven't been there. Fear. Yeah. We haven't been there yet. We don't understand it. So here's what we do. Having that strong why allows us to choose the forks in the road of which one is actually going to get us to the end destination, not just a small bonus. So the finish line would be a bonus. Beyond it could be that you've got the lifestyle of what it's like to be a millionaire. It's not having £1 million in the bank. That would be stupid, by the way, with the way inflation is going. It's having the lifestyle that gives you. The time with your family, the holidays away, the supercars that you want to buy that you had on your wall when you was a kid. You can now own them and better. What about the property, the investments, the cash flow, the freedom, the choice to do what you want? Have that in a picture. Have it on a photo of what that looks like. And when Stuart shared his the other day, for those that can't see it on pod, so this is on Spotify, by the way. You can watch this video on Spotify now and YouTube. But the picture that Stuart shared was a picture of when he had been away to some islands in the north of Australia, and it was a picture of him lying on the side of a beach, just looking at his feet. So it was from his eyes looking outwards. Yeah, from his eyes looking outwards, of his legs crossed, looking out towards the sea, of a sunset going down in this big hut and a pool in front of him. Yeah, that's when he knows that's the target, that's the direction. So when shit gets hard, yeah, you might not be just talking about the bonus that you'd get that week or that month. Understand the direction that you're going. What's your purpose? Who are the people you want around you when you achieve it? Let's say it was having that island, yeah. Stuart probably wants to own the island. I didn't dig deep into it, but I know Stuart, he probably wants to fucking own that island. Okay? Having all his friends there, having his family there, yeah, all the values that are important to him. Okay? So all that, to reach that target, all these goals have to happen. It's a bigger purpose, it's a bigger why. And when I'm working with organizations, if you're listening, business owners or managers or CEOs, what is the why that's driving your team? Is it about making sales calls? Is it about getting stuff out the door? Is it about servicing more people? What's the big impact that you make? Look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk is putting people on the fucking, well, he's at the moon, putting people on Mars. Yeah, that's the impact he wants to make. It just so happens along the way, we better have some good electric vehicles to go up there. And we better have some way of getting there, some rockets that can take off and land and take off and get people safely home again. So he's prepared to spend billions of dollars to blow up rockets just to get it right. Yeah. To evolve mankind. Okay. It had to happen at some time. Someone had to do it once upon a time. Somebody made a ship and crossed the ocean to find all different countries. This is just the 2024 version of that exploration, and it costs investment. It costs investment of time and money. So, what are you investing in? If you were so clear on your purpose, yeah, guess what? Having an awkward customer, having some hard shit in your day that you've got to deal with this week that you don't want to deal with will absolutely propel you forward towards the actual target, the direction of travel, the why. Yeah. So you carry on. That gives you complete tenacity and massive levels of resilience and confidence. So for an organization, it's not just go and make 1,000 phone calls in a month between a team of a few people. It could be, look, we really want to make an impact into people's lives right now. And there's only one way of us doing that. We've all got to come together. We've got to invest as business owners. We've got to invest in the right people. We need to invest in the culture, getting it right. And that's why people use me as a coach, by the way. Yeah, is to come in there, not just tell people what to do. Look, here's a good plan of how we get there based on the goals that you want to hit. Now it gets tough. We do weekly coaching until you're achieving that goal. Guess what? Things are really rosy for the first 6 weeks. Yeah, it's a bit like going on honeymoon. And then we find out what really got in the way. People's mindset, people's beliefs, people's tenacity to follow through on actually what they want to achieve and mean it. Okay. So that's where coaching comes in. So purpose. Number one is purpose. And this sets up for the next ones as well. I'm going to go for the next ones pretty quick because there are podcasts on this already, by the way, in the previous episodes of the A Players. Number two, your boardroom table. What gives you unshakable character? Number one, great purpose. You've got to have purpose. Make sure your ladder is up the right wall. Because the last thing you want to do is spend the next 5 or 10 years of your life climbing that ladder, corporate ladder, business ladder, whatever fucking ladder, and realizing when you get to the top, you go, hooray, I've made it to the top. And then you realize you've climbed the wrong ladder. You're up the wrong wall. So really get clear on your purpose, guys. Number two, how to build an unshakable character with unshakable confidence is having that boardroom table around you. What is the boardroom table? Go back, listen to the episode. That's the people, the team that you need around you. So if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, investor, as you go up the ladder, as you become that investor, then you're going to want the right advisors around you. I've already said that you need an IFA. Yeah. What's certain in life? Testing, death and taxes. Yeah. So you need an IFA. You need a tax accountant. You need a great accountant. Yeah. So I've got two. I've got an accountant and a tax accountant. Yeah. Because that's the biggest expenses you're going to get. You've got to get it right. And different countries. So I've got different ones from all different ones around the world. I've got one in Australia. I've got one in the UK. I will have one in America. Yeah. Middle East. Because you've got to understand and have these people around the boardroom table. But first things first, at least have your boardroom table. Then you can start to invite in the seats. I'm a part of other people's boardroom table. So when I go in as an investor or even as a coach, they pull up the business coach seat and say, Lewis, take a seat here. You're the business coach. By the way, this is so-and-so, my accountant. Yeah. This is my financial advisor. This is my sales director. This is my marketing director. This is my operations director. Yeah. And if you're only a small business right now, then we've got to at least start that boardroom table moving forward. Because look, there's only one way that you're going to scale and grow, and that's through leverage. Leverage of your time. If you think that you're the person that's got to be the person that's doing all the fucking work, there's a problem, a real problem. And it's a mindset shift again, isn't it? Remember, everything comes back down to mindset. Everything comes back down to mindset. That's why I'm an organizational psychologist. So I understood that if I'm going to get leverage, I better get very good at understanding the stuff of how to make this happen. Right. Does that make sense? The boardroom table. If you're an individual, you can create a boardroom table, piece of paper, draw a circle, write some names in it, follow some people on Instagram. Whose podcasts you're going to listen to? You can like visualize the people that you want around your world. Okay. As you start to scale up, you can invest in them as employees or consultants or coaches. as you start to scale up even bigger. Look, I own businesses. Every one of those, for me now, as the parent, I sit around the top of the boardroom table with the other shareholders and go, right, we need to bring these people in from different businesses, non-executives, etc., because this is where we're going, and we've got a mission, a purpose that we must be hitting. Okay. So I'm trying to share this at all different levels, by the way, but ultimately you get the point. Yeah. Do you get the point? If you do, smash the like button if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, and make sure that you subscribe to this as well, because there's going to be lots more points that need to be made as well. Getting value so far, ladies and gents. This is the stuff that will get you to not just 100K, but million level. We'll break it down in the 100K club as well for everybody that needs the next steps. So number 3, knowledge. Okay. Look, people usually say, Lewis, what do we got to take to make more money? What is it to be a millionaire? Okay. First step, I'd say, my time is valuable. I've got podcasts. Podcasts cause leverage. And if people say, Lewis, look, I'm really interested in this. I want to do whatever it takes to be a millionaire. I'll go, have you listened to any of the podcasts yet? No. Have you read any books? Think and Grow Rich? Yeah. Any of the tools and resources that I give away for free? No. Right. So if you're not prepared to invest any time, there's the first problem, isn't it? There's the first step on that ladder, is that you've got to take ownership. When I first started on my journey as an entrepreneur and investor, I sat in the seat first of working for other people, because I realized that my level of where I need to get to is from learning. I read all the books. Those books, hundreds of books. I remember listening to them on a podcast. I was in Australia. Why do people go on holiday to Australia and, listen to podcasts? It was really weird. Lewis, you've been in Australia now for 18 months. What have you done? What beaches have you seen? What cities have you seen? Blah, 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 blah. I've seen Sydney. I've seen Brisbane. I've seen the Gold Coast. Well, have you been anywhere else? No, because I'm here to fucking work. I'm here to hustle. Yeah. I'm here to really put the work in. And the first step that I took was I read all the books that the greatest people that I wanted to be around with are reading, and then beyond, because I knew they weren't doing that. Where most people would go to Australia to have holidays, I went there to fucking learn. Learn from the best. And Australia and the personal development world is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So unless I put myself in that situation, I weren't going to learn. So here's the first steps then. Knowledge is power. And people say, oh, it's only power when it's applied. Yeah, you've got to put some application to it. You've got to have the right steps. But that steps need to be towards a plan as well. It is when it's applied, but having the right knowledge and aligned with that purpose, that direction of travel is key. Just start somewhere. You've got to learn it. Oh, Lewis, but knowledge is only power when it's applied. Bullshit. Yeah. The reason it's bullshit is because from an organizational psychology background and coaching background, working with some top elite businesses and their CEOs, anything that gets in the way of progress is a bad thing. Anything that gets in the way of progress is a bad thing. So one of the easiest things people can do, and cheap, is to buy a book. £10, less than that. You can get it all for free now. If you've got a Spotify account, which most of you have because you're listening on Spotify on this channel, or Apple, or YouTube, you can get books for free. So it's not even costing you anything anymore, right? When you learn the knowledge, you start to speak the language of other people because they've read the books as well. And you get common ground with it. Some of the books, if you follow me on Instagram, Dr. Lewis Haydon, go on Dr. Lewis Haydon Instagram and you'll see me share a book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The book on power, Robert Greene. You start to repeat those books in front of people, straight away they know you're an A player. A players read constantly. They are always learning. They are always growing. So when one A player references a book to another A player, you're in the A player circle. So knowledge is power when it's applied, but the first application is just to get knowledge. Okay. When you've got more knowledge, you start to hang around more boardroom table, more A players, your confidence will grow. You will learn the stories, you will learn the things. So you've got to put yourself out there into that circle. And if you're an introvert like me, yeah, wouldn't think that because I'm on in a podcast, but like you know, right now, I'm sitting in a room on my own. Yeah, all this stuff about going to BNI and things like that. Get the value of it. Get the value of networking. It's not me. Yeah, it's not in my personality traits. And people say, hey, look, work on the things that you're bad at. No, you're not going to change traits. You're not going to change traits. Work with them. Don't fight them. Okay. So read the books, get out there. If you are more extroverted, go and do the networking. When I was in Australia, I did do a lot of networking and met some fantastic people as well. So do try. I mean, introverts, do try and put yourself out there a little bit more, or find your way of how you can start to connect with people that are important. Okay. So knowledge. All this comes down to the foundation of knowledge, step 3. Number 4, how to build that unshakable confidence, reframing. So this is an NLP thing. Stuart would have talked about this in a lot deeper level, but look, we had loads of value from Stuart. Maybe we can get him back on in the future as well. Reframing. What is reframing? Who's come across it before? Yeah. So Stuart, elite hypnotherapist. He put me on to, I worked with him for quite a while, and he said, Lewis, look, the skills that I have in hypnotherapy change lives. So I went and did a hypnotherapy course and NLP course as well for 6 months, training in hypnotherapy and NLP, not just like a week, here's a certificate, now fuck off sort of thing. It was 6 months intensive training with a guy called Dr. Lockley in Australia, who owns the Hypnotherapy Association over there. And something that really fit well was reframing is, without going into too much detail, just to give you the content for what you need to get more confidence in your leadership, is if you think that something's happening, right, and something exists in your mind, and you've got a whole picture around how that was painted and started to create. Let's say somebody, you was about to have your best day ever and go to a meeting and close a massive deal that can change your business forever. But on the way there, somebody cut you up on the way and you nearly crashed your car. And then you got really angry about going down there and going, look, this dickhead nearly crashed into me. Isn't it? That's so annoying that you get that. And you're so angry on the way to the deal, let's say, the person's office. And when you get there, you walk in and you're frustrated, you're angry around it. And that anger then passes on to the customer you're about to see. And they go, whoa, he's a negative person. All he did was arrive and was moaning about how this person cut him up in the morning. Yeah. And then you lose the deal. Now that's not you. That was just the state you were in. Okay. So how do we change that state? We don't want to be known for the miserable person that complains about driving. We want to be known about the impact and the purpose you want to be making. Now, this is just a small example. You can imagine how it can start to frame into different things. But what reframing is rather than being angry at that person, reframing could be that person was angry because they were in traffic. Here's a way of looking at it. Yeah, you're not actually in traffic. You are traffic. Think about that. Everybody that's on that road, on that motorway, on the way to that office, yeah, highway if you're in Australia or America, everybody who's on that motorway, they are traffic. They're all trying to achieve something, get to their destination. Nobody wants to be stuck in traffic. Yeah. So you're all in the same boat. You're all in the same place. So this allows people to reframe that maybe that person had something going on, something that happened in their morning that made them late. Yeah. It could have been something really serious. What about if their dog had just passed away? What about if something had bad happened in the family? What about, it can go on, can't it? Without understanding what happened, we're all always just painting a picture. Now, it doesn't matter if it's true or not, because you're not ever going to understand what was in that person's mind. What about if you reframe it to that person just having a shit day, but I'm going to have a good one? Yeah, I am traffic. I'm part of that traffic problem again. It's reframing, isn't it? You can choose how it is. So one thing I actually did with Stuart is that I had the fear of public speaking. I told you before, I'm quite introverted. Yeah. The reason I don't want to come across introvert anymore, by the way, and this is quite personal to myself, I share it on the A Players podcast, is fear of public speaking was the thing that was stopping me from getting up there and making a bigger impact. But I knew after having people help me in my business, the impact that that can have on other people's businesses. I went through my younger 20s in a place of quite a dark place, really. It's got quite, you call it depression. I was never diagnosed with it, but it was a dark place. And weekends were great. Weekdays, not so good. Okay. And this is why I really get wound up about the ideas of hump days and, oh, thank God it's Friday. Yeah. What a waste of life. What a waste of life. I'll tell you now, since my middle 20s, it doesn't feel like I've ever actually had a job. It feels like, and by the way, you ask my wife, Anna, 60, 70 hours as well that I would put into doing work weekly. Yeah. But it doesn't feel like work. It feels like I'm on purpose because my measure since the middle of my, late 20s is that there's got to be something bigger to life, rather than, you know, drinking on weekends and stuff. And I know all teenagers and young 20s, yeah, they're going to be doing it. But I realized then that how do you get this sort of fulfillment by not doing it? Yeah. What about if you could have a great time all the time when you was at work, whether you was in a job, whether you was weekend? How do you keep that consistent? So one thing I did for me was to then decide, look, I need to make a bigger impact in the world and find my purpose. And that bigger impact was that if I make an impact in businesses, I make an impact on leaders, that leaders having a bigger belief about themselves has a contagion effect, a ripple effect onto other people. Yeah. Who would you say, if you think back right now, is your favorite manager that you've ever met? What about your favorite teacher at school? Yeah. They've had an impact on your life. Now, do you think they have a great life? What about if they're down? What about if they're depressed? What about if they have psychological challenges? And I truly believe that the way that to fight depression, by the way, depression is just a sign that you're not living on purpose. It's the telltale sign that all the chemicals in your body are leading to something that isn't forming another chemical that starts to release that enjoyment. Yeah, the endorphins. So when I'm doing podcasts and when I'm working with other businesses, investing in other businesses, working on my own businesses, growing my managers, growing my leaders, that gives me the endorphins to make it feel like, wow, this is purpose. It doesn't feel like work. When you can crack that, yeah, when you can crack that, you realize that everything is just so much easier. Okay. So the fear of public speaking, I knew I had to do it. If I'm going to get up there and start to speak if I'm going to make more change and impact more leaders in the world so they can impact more people and have an influence, the ripple effect, me having an impact from what I do, then I knew at some stage I was going to have to get up there and speak in front of people. Okay. So what did I do? Who are the best people in the world at public speaking? Yeah. Dale Carnegie. Have read the book, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People? He did stuff on public speaking. It dates back like 100 years now. But it worked then and it works now. In fact, the fact that it's 100 years ago starts to dilute because you get so much bullshit in today's world. Alyssa James, she's coming on the podcast soon. She helped me with the way that I present myself and the way that I hold my physique. She works with lots of A players on TV, celebrities, all sorts. She helped along the way. Just another person that I have around my boardroom table. She's coming on the podcast soon, by the way. How to have more confidence in the way that you speak. Stuart, went to see Stuart. I actually worked in an office with him whilst I was business coach in Australia. He shared the office across the road. And I said, look, Stuart, he knew something was wrong because I had to do a presentation. That's my wording. Had to do a presentation. I chose to make it a had, by the way. I didn't have to do anything. I chose to make it a had because I put myself in the place where if I don't get good at this, I can't make an impact. I can't reach beyond the gold medal, beyond the finish line. Yeah. So there's always work to do. Remember, like what Stuart said. So I sat with Stuart and I said, look, I got this thing. I'm a little bit worried about it. He says, oh, yeah, fear. Anxiety back then wasn't a big thing, but it was anxiety around it. When I spoke with Stuart, he said, look, what does fear feel like? I said, butterflies. It feels like butterflies in my stomach. I had it when I was younger, going up in front of classes at school, going up in front of kickboxing and jiu-jitsu classes. I had this same feeling. And he went, and when you were actually in the kickboxing and jiu-jitsu classes and up there and you'd finished the session, how did it feel? I said, well, after just kicking someone's head in, joking, after sparring with somebody or after just delivering a great presentation, I felt fantastic. He says, and is that towards the purpose or away from the purpose? No, for me to do stuff like that gets me more towards the purpose. He says, well, it's not fear, Lewis, that you're feeling, is it? What could it be? I says, well, what's the feeling when you come away? I went, I'm excited. He said, so it's not fear or anxiety. What you actually have is excitement that just hasn't arrived yet. It's brewing. It's like the hot water in a kettle. You have the cup of tea or the coffee later, you enjoy it. The water boiling is part of the excitement. Reframed. Completely. Reframed. Now, some people listening to this might go, that might be true, that might not be true, right? It was true. When I went to that public speaking event, and by the way, you're going to laugh at this. Guess how many people are in the room? About six. About 6 people showed up. Yeah? And I lost sleep before that for about 3 weeks. Couldn't sleep. In fact, I'd get home from the office and I'd just go straight to bed because I thought I was tired and I need to catch up on sleep. It wasn't. It was a bad place to be. Now imagine people going through life like that, always feeling unconfident. What sort of opportunities are you missing out on by not having that unshakable confidence? What sort of opportunities? If you had unbelievable, unshakable confidence right now, unshakable character that you could achieve whatever you wanted to do if you just went for it. Stopped all the things getting in the way. By the way, here's why people don't take action. You ready? Are you ready? Because anxiety. What do I mean by that? They're going for the easiest stuff first, the easiest shit first, rather than the stuff that's going to change their lives. If you read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, there's a part in that talks about urgent, important, not urgent, important. Yeah. The 4 different models of it. Not urgent, not important. And then the final one is, what did I not said? You'll probably correct me on this later on, but not urgent, not important. Urgent, not important. You get the drift, right? Quadrant with all those 4 different options in there. Now, the people that just focus on the urgent stuff and important stuff, I saw it on Instagram. Some young lads sharing it, saying you got to focus on the urgent important. No, urgent important is the shit that's getting in the way on the everyday. Okay, you got to focus on the stuff that is not urgent but important, because that is where the anxiety is. You're doing something where you're not used to doing it, because the urgent stuff, you're urgent because you're allowing it to be urgent because it's the stuff that you know how to do. Yeah, going a bit deep now, but you see the point here. I didn't have to do public speaking, but it was very important but not urgent. I could just turn up to the office every day and carry on my work. But by doing that, I met the right people, Stuart, Alyssa, all the people that I've met along the way that I haven't spoke about yet as well, that will be coming on the podcast as well. All these people start to become around my boardroom table because I had a clear purpose and I was clear that I have to travel the path that has the most anxiety, because it's not anxiety, it's excitement brewing. Yeah. That's the stuff that's going to make a difference in your life. That's how you make an impact. And people choose the easiest path. I mean, if you look at the brain build-up, all the white matter in your brain. I'm not a neuroscientist, by the way. Don't try to be. I'm a different scientist. Just because I've got psychologist doesn't mean I study neuroscience. Some things I do know about that is the wiring in the path of the brains, the dendrites. These wires build habits. They create habits like a superhighway, and the more they get used, the more the electrons and the messages can go through it faster. So it's passing to different parts of the brain, and it creates our habits, what we do on the day-to-day. Okay? So for us to choose a different path can seem a little bit harder. And even when we do it, we may go back to normal. So there's a neural wiring way of doing it as well. But from a psychology perspective, from an anxiety perspective, we will always choose the easiest path unless we put resistance against it, unless we force tenacity down it, in that direction, down that different path. It wasn't easy to get up and do public speaking. I had to get the resources from around me, from my network, and I went and did it. And that's why today I'm here on a podcast speaking as an introvert, pretending to be an extrovert, because I know that it has to be done. Okay? So what sort of things do you need to be doing? What do you need to reframe in your mind? Yeah? Is there things that are stopping you from moving forward and that needs reframing because you can't move any further forward? And this comes up to now this comes to point 5. Point 5, how to build unshakable confidence. I spoke about it in previous episodes again. You've got to make power moves. Make power moves. What is a power move? A power move is the one move a day that moves you towards your direction travel, your target. Okay? It's the one thing that you don't have to do, but when you do it, it gives you that fulfillment. It gives you that excitement brewing towards where you want to get to. And just imagine, if you make a power move every day for the next 365 days, in 1 year's time, what would your life be like? What sort of things would be around you? How would things change? What would your income be like? Yeah. We talk about income in the iPlays podcast because of the 100K club connected to it. It doesn't have to be about it, but it's a good thing to have in a world where finances are always getting tighter. We need something to counteract that. That's what the 100K club is there for. So making a power move, what could it be? So the way I do power moves, create that habit, by the way, don't have to. I make sure I get up at 5 a.m. every morning. Why? Because people who don't get up at 5 a.m. are on the ride. They're just flowing through. What do I mean? If your day schedule is to wake up at 7 or wake up at 6 and go through and do the stuff that you always do, you will always get the same result. So unless you create some extra space in your diary, time is equals results. How you structure your time is the results that you get. You show me someone's diary and I'll show you where they will be in 5 years' time. Yeah. You show me someone's diary and I will show you where they will be in 5 years' time. You show me the people that they hang around. Have you ever heard that one? And they'll show you where you'll be in 5 years' time. Bullshit. It's not just around the people you hang around. It's a boardroom table. The people in your mind. And it's not the people you hang around. It's the people you invest in. Your employees, your consultants, your coaches, the people that are better than you. You need to spend money to be around these people. Sorry, you do. Yeah? Or you go and work for them. Or you add some values. Money, it doesn't have to be money, by the way. It could be you take something off them that they're struggling with. Time. So it's time and money. You save them time, you make them money, then then these are the people that you need to be around. If you don't, then they can help you out, but they've got no skin in the game. You've got no skin in the game. Okay. So make more power moves. 5 a.m. club, 4 a.m. club. If you're already doing 5 a.m., do 4 a.m. club. I get up at 5 a.m. within 15 minutes, journal, writing down all the stuff that went well. Did I win the day yesterday? Was the power move yesterday successful? Yeah. When I tick the box, yes, I write about it. This is what happened. These are the results from it. Direction of travel. This is why I'm doing it. These are just some ideas of where you can get to, yeah? So what I'm doing is journaling about how the power move from the day before got me towards the end purpose. And then what I'm doing is also journaling about what today's power move is. Makes sense? So the power move today, I don't have to do a podcast. I don't have to do the 100K club. But the reason I record it at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning is because it's the one thing that will help more people, me make a bigger impact and share my knowledge of the last 15 years of investor, entrepreneur, and business coaching with lots of investors and entrepreneurs and business owners and managers. Sharing that knowledge allows other people to grow. Allowing people to grow and having that ripple effect is my why. Yeah. People are meant for greatness. People are meant for greatness, not sitting at home watching TV and Netflix. And that's why I charge for the 100K club exactly the same price as it would cost for Netflix. Because people have got a choice, victim or victor. Yeah. Or both. Not to slam Netflix. People need that in their life as well. So, but look, don't choose the one without having the other. If you're going to have the sin of Netflix, at least balance it with the other thing. Yeah. Learning how to grow your income. That's what the 100K club is there for. So power moves, they could be, I'm going to start my podcast today. I'm going to start selling stuff on eBay today. I'm going to start going to more networking events today. I'm going to start signing myself up to more public speaking events. I know I'm quite, I know I've got to build my confidence. So I'm going to start reading some more books. And then I'm going to start getting onto some more phone calls and just have 10 good phone calls today with people. Doesn't need to be with a customer, just with people in business. Then you can make it to your customer. See, progress is the key. You've got to start somewhere. And it all starts with these things that we did today. Some fantastic power moves to start off with, by the way, would be to go over this podcast, make some notes, write some power moves in there, and then go and take those actions on those tomorrow or this week. Make a list, put a plan together. Yeah. Put your plan together the next 12 months, 3 months, and then just put in there little sticky notes of what your power moves are going to be. And believe me, in 90 days' time, you'll be in a totally different place after listening to this podcast and also doing those power moves. And the podcast is here to support you with those power moves. Because remember, state is momentary. So if you subscribe to this podcast on YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify, on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram, follow me on LinkedIn, what that's going to do is get me around your environment more. And I want to see you win. So every time a post of mine comes up, I'm a reminder. You said you were going to win. You said you were going to win. You said you were going to win. Do you get it? That there will keep your state. Bit like a heartbeat monitor, yeah? Every time that you see me, the heartbeat rises. We want that to be more often, yeah? Because if it flatlines, you're not going anywhere. You're not growing, you're dying. Ladies and gents, this has been a longer episode today, but there's lots of important notes in this. Maybe an idea of this would be to listen back to each of the segments and make some notes on it as well. Take the gold nuggets. And remember, the fee for the podcast, it is for free, but there is a fee. So I want you to pay the fee, ladies and gents. And that fee is to share this with somebody so we can make them wealthy as well. We've got a goal in place. We want to make 1,000 millionaires in the next 10 years. Okay? 1,000 millionaires in the next 10 years. The first step is to just get people into a place of financial stability, the 100K club. So A players, 1,000 millionaires in the next 10 years. So for us to be on purpose with that and change a lot of people's lives, we ask that you pay the fee, and that is to share this with somebody that also wants to be on this journey with you. There's a first person to have around your circle. People that listen to this podcast, you need to be around that circle because they're all aligned with all wanting to do better, and they'll be sharing their power moves. Yeah. So if you've got any power moves, drop them in the comments below. Yeah, on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you're watching this, on Spotify. And make sure you share what your power moves are for how you become an unshakable character with unshakable confidence. Be great, A players. Catch you in the next episode.